Let's check in voicemail of Truth and Reason. Several fans want to check in with the Baker Mayfield trade, and here's one of them.
Hey, this is Javier from Arizona. I just seen the news right now about Baker Mayfield being traded, and I see that we're only going to give up, or we're only going to have to pay about a little over $10 million for him. I know a lot of people are kind of complaining about that. I think that's a steal right now, because if you think about it, where the cap was at, already at $42 million. We just got $8 million back. We get somebody that's disgruntled off of our roster, potentially a next draft pick, a fourth or a fifth round pick. I like the trade a lot. Go Browns.
All right, as always, appreciate all of the voicemails. Quincy, a fourth or a fifth round pick, it's probably the best they were going to get, given the situation. And you know, they got $8 million off of the back to their cap, if you will. So I don't know that it was a steal, but it's probably the best they were going to get.
It's one of those trades like when you sell a car, right? You don't want to sell it at a loss, or you don't want to sell it for a bargain, but sometimes you just got to get rid of the car. That's what this trade was, right? They had a car. They could not use it. They were not going to use it anymore, but it was just taking up space. So you had to get rid of it. And instead of thinking of it as, the original value of this car versus what we got, which is Baker Mayfield was a former number 1 overall pick. You end up getting a conditional fifth for it, which is a terrible return if you look at it from that standpoint. But if you look at it from the standpoint of you were either looking at junking this car for nothing, maybe even paying to junk the car $18 million, to splitting that cost 10.5, and then also, getting back a fifth round pick. It's literally like when you do that thing. You ever done the thing where you have to sell one of your junk cars to one of those people that just pick it up and they pay for the tow and hand you like $200 for your car? That's literally what they did here. They just split the difference and said, all right, just get rid of the car, because they weren't going to have the car go into the season and take up a roster spot. So, I mean, I think there's a credit here to Andrew Berry for sticking so firm and not moving on releasing him, even though the media pressure was so high for him to do so. And I think he squeezed out the best possible deal, given the circumstances that he was handed with Baker Mayfield, given how people feel about him around the league, and given the lack of leverage he had because there was one team interested in going for him. The fact that he squeezed out a way to keep this money under $11 million and to get a fourth round pick maybe back for Baker Mayfield. If you look at it with the context involved, it's going to be a pretty good trade. If you don't look at it with the context involved, I can see where people can say it's a terrible trade. But I think context is key in this situation.